Morning everyone. Hopefully, as you can see on the slide, Bytes are a top 5 UK Citrix Gold partner, and the slide sort of illustrates how we partner with Citrix throughout the entire cycle of our virtualization proposition. And you can also see there how we do time with other vendors to enhance the virtualization experience for our customers, but Citrix are quite core to several areas there, as you can see. Today's presentation discusses how work is no longer just being in the office from 9 to 5, and Citrix are the market leaders in mobile workspace. Bring your own device is already huge and predicted to increase significantly in the next couple of years. Citrix Mobile Workspace and mobile working is all about enabling access to a secure workspace from anywhere and using any device, and I'm sure you're going to find out a lot more about that as we go on. I would say that there are a lot of current promotions on with Citrix, and I would encourage you, if you've got any queries, to talk to your account managers after the presentation today and find out whether the promotions can be of use to you. So without any further ado, I'm going to hand over to Alex Hill. Thank you, Alex.
Okay, great, thank you. So my name is Alex Hill from Citrix, and what we want to talk to you about today is our Workspace suite, which is new and gives you the ability to enable true enterprise mobility in all of your organizations. We'll go through kind of the ideas, and what we're trying to do is help you to be relevant and to be agile and competitive in the new kind of IT world. So if you look at where we're heading in terms of business, we're heading into this area that everything is a hybrid. So not only you may have heard about hybrid clouds where you can have on-premise data and servers and off-premise data and servers in the cloud, but equally we have a hybrid collection of apps, be they Windows applications that traditionally you have in your businesses, but equally mobile applications, and also devices. So we're kind of starting to move away, if you haven't moved away already, from everyone having a Windows PC to maybe still having a Windows PC but some kind of tablet or smartphone or indeed a Mac of some shape or description that they access their systems and applications from. So we want to help you to kind of manage that, and that's only going to increase in business, it's only going to increase in enterprise IT as the options become available to you and your users. Equally though, everyone's hyper-connected, so everything's connected to everything pretty much all the time. If you think about how often you're offline, how often you actually want to be able to be connected to systems, to applications, to data, and relate that back to your own users and your businesses, you can see kind of that's the real challenge now for your businesses. Now what we are seeing is that there are the old ways of going and doing business and the old ways of providing IT within business. So, you've got everyone based in an office on a company device. They're always connecting back into the network, or they're always on the corporate network through being on the network itself or coming in and starting up a VPN from an external point. Nothing much changes, so it's very monolithic. And the delivery method, because of the ways that you have to run IT to be compliant, secure, and manageable, is done in suites. So you have a finance suite or a HR suite or all these other kind of areas. And pretty much everything you do and own is on-premise. Now we see that changing, it's changing in our business at Citrix, it's changing for our customers' businesses as well, in that the new reality is that people do work from mobile locations. Now maybe that's not fully working at the moment, but they'll pick up email, they'll do other things from a mobile location. They want to work from personal devices where possible, so they want to use their tablet or smartphone or their own home PC or laptop, which may be better than the one you provide through your business. They want to come in from any network, and they want to do so very simply. They don't want to have to start up their PC, their corporate laptop, open up a VPN, and then do everything from that point on. They just want to open an application and get immediate access to your corporate network. They want to kind of mash up, and it's very much an American term, but this idea where they can have their personal and their business apps sitting alongside each other. They're very used to now having stores. So think about your own IT lives outside of work. You're probably very used to going in to the relevant marketplace or store for your tablet or smartphone and picking the apps you want on the device. And users are very used to that. They're very comfortable with that idea, but it's not what they're getting from enterprise IT, from the corporate IT that's provided to them. And plus, probably you're looking at a hybrid infrastructure where there will be always servers and storage and systems that you keep on premise, but equally then you'll start to move other things out into cloud or third parties that go and host it for you, be it a server or be it an application by having it provided back to you through a SaaS provider, a software as a service provider. Now what we want to help you to do is, where possible or where needed, still help you manage and deliver in the old way, but equally help you move towards a new reality at the same point and at the same time. So we want to help you to bridge the gap between the two and provide both until you can get rid of the old ways. And what we see is two things in the businesses. One is that people and tasks are moving and they're working and they're looking at kind of working from a mobile-first environment. But apps and data are also moving as well. They're moving into cloud, be it a private cloud or a public cloud. So first thing I want to help you to do is embrace devices and different services that you can take advantage of. And when we do this, and we're starting to help you deliver services and enable devices, what we feel is the best way of getting a great return on investment and getting great user satisfaction is to make sure that whatever we're delivering and whatever you're delivering as a business to your users and whatever device that they're using on whatever network, that will put in the experience first. Equally, we want to be device and location independence because of that. We want what we call an app-fluent delivery fabric so that we are delivering over different types of networks, understanding those networks and making sure the delivery is key. And equally, at Citrix, what we're doing a lot more of nowadays is we're not always delivering things that we deliver on our software. So for those of you familiar with XenDesktop, we'll still deliver Windows apps and desktops, we'll deliver mobile applications, we'll deliver mobile device management, but we'll also act as a broker for users to get into their internal web apps that we have maybe no relation to, and equally get access to their SaaS applications as well, because we see this as a workplace idea. So really it's then giving you the ability to bring everything together that's made or delivered from anywhere and let the user access and use it and therefore work from anywhere as well. So we want to be able to help you get to this point where you don't own things at the back end necessarily, and equally you don't own things at the user end as well. And it's very much like the idea, you think of your Sky TV or your Virgin Media or your FreeSat or anything like that in the UK. These are the ones that we can use, the American examples, where all Sky or FreeSat do is provide the service and the content. They then put it over different types of networks, so satellite, normal digital networks, broadband, 3G, and then they deliver it to any device. They don't really care what the device is, be it a TV, a tablet, a screen, a PC, a Mac, or a phone. And again, that's the same idea where it's produced anywhere and enjoyed anywhere by the end user. Now, if you look at how that comes together for those kind of examples and how we can put that together for you, we'll have the head end, the delivery end, which is delivering over different types of networks, WANs, LANs, broadband, 3G, 4G, different continents, all the other areas like that, maybe satellite networks as well for some of you, making sure it delivers over the right network, and actually making sure we have something that can receive it on whatever device the user chooses to pick it up from. And that's the key from our perspective. So this is what we want to be able to do. We want to help you be a workspace service provider. That means you can deliver your infrastructure over any network, to any device, over any service, and create a workspace for the user to go and pick up on any device, which is made up of their apps, your infrastructure to deliver it, and the services you consume to deliver that to the end user. And this all relates back to what we're hearing from you as customers, which is the idea that you want to mobilize your business. I spend a lot of time with customers, both in the UK and in the Nordics, because I work for the Northern European business in Citrix, and every time we go and see customers, the first thing they're looking at is mobilization, mobilizing their businesses because lots and lots of different demands on their businesses. Things like different types of applications that users can get access to, and actually the fact now that if you don't provide a mobile solution to your users, they'll probably find a way of doing it themselves. And always a great example of that is things like email or Dropbox. If you don't give them a way of getting their email on their tablet, they'll find a way of getting email on their tablet without you probably even knowing. Equally, if you don't provide a way for them to go and get their corporate data on their tablet or their smartphone, they'll find a way. Typically, they'll start with Dropbox. You can probably start to look at how you ban Dropbox, and then move to Box.net, Zumo, SkyDrive, whatever it is, from that point on. Also now, BYD we find now is assumed, maybe not by the business as such, you may not support it, but it's definitely assumed by the user. Now, the user assumes that if they can get a tablet, they can get it to work and get some apps from the business on it, even like I said before, if it's their email or document management system. So they don't see a problem with that in many cases. They just see it as a more flexible way of working and be more productive for their businesses. And then finally, because of all this, there is a risk of data loss and reliability for your businesses, because if you're not controlling it, then the user will do what they want. And we've had a saying for quite a while that we use with customers like yourselves a lot. You can either fight it and spend lots of money trying to stop all this from happening, putting in systems, using lots of consultancy, and providing services to actually stop BYOD, or you can feature it and actually secure it. And actually, when you look at it in the long term, it's actually easier to feature it and manage it yourselves. And equally then you get the security that you need without trying to go and fight it all the time. So what we also find is the current solutions to do this are not integrated. And this is where we're trying to come in and build this whole workspace suite for you. So workspaces are about being mobile, not necessarily mobile from day one, because the workspace suite will work in a normal environment, your normal office environment where users sit at a desk. It's virtualized and it's also secure. At any time that we're delivering an app or data, whether it's something that they access online or something that they take offline, be it an app or a piece of data, we are securing it and we're monitoring it and we're maintaining it. And you as the business have full administration over those apps or all that data, even if those apps and data are going onto a non-managed user-owned device, a consumer device. And then what we need to deliver down to those devices on any location, other apps, be they the Windows applications or the Windows desktop you can see there, or the mobile application for the Android or the iOS device, or even now the BlackBerry going forwards. The data, so all your corporate data, if you think about some of your more senior people in your businesses, you've probably seen this a couple of years ago when they went and bought tablets and they decided that tablets were a great way to read some information while they were traveling on a plane, for example. So they take all their corporate information onto a non-corporate tablet and probably break all your compliancy and regulation rules from that point on. You also want to give them some personal access, there may be things they want to do, and then, if you give them a corporate smartphone, for example, they're probably going to put Facebook or Twitter on it. Well, that's great, Is there a problem with that? Probably not. But the problem is if Facebook and Twitter can talk to your corporate application. So it's about separation on those devices. And then equally, you need collaboration. Mobility is great, but what happens with mobility is people become mobile and become more disparate and separate from each other. So people still need to communicate and work in teams when they're mobile, so you need to have the tools to collaborate both internally within your business, but equally you probably find the businesses you work with, the third parties, will also be more mobile. So therefore you need the tools to be able to collaborate with them. And obviously we're using one of those tools today called GoToWebinar, and there's a version of that called GoToMeeting that enables online meetings. So we want to bring all those things together and make the user able to access all those systems from any device at any point as and when they want securely. And that's really what a mobile workspace is. And what we're really taking to you is the ability to seamlessly and securely unite all your apps, all your data, and all your services, and deliver them to any device over any network and from any cloud that you choose to use as a business. And that's really where we want you to get to. Now, you don't have to consume or use all those services from day one. Right? The point of the Workspace Suite is there's lots of parts to it, and you can choose when and where you want to use those parts, how and when you wish to use them for your businesses. And we'll go through the component parts in a bit. But the whole point of this is then any device that your user has or has access to can be a state-of-the-art workspace. We can deliver a whole Workspace Suite to it. And the Workspace Suite is really our product coming together, being delivered through one view, through our Citrix receiver, and then the ability to then access your apps, your information, your data from any device over any network at any point in time. And that's really the key to this solution for you. So what is in the Workspace Suite? This is how we mobilize and bring out enterprise mobility. Well, in many cases, it's probably products, some of which you already have, and some of which you may not have, but have seen and heard about before. But what this really does is help us to deliver all the pieces that you need to deliver to an end user, to a single application on their device, i.e. the receiver, and then do that on any device the user chooses to pick up. So we have Windows apps and security and delivery. And if you think about mobility, you think about your businesses now. If you want people to go and work remotely or work from different locations or be able to pick up a tablet or a smartphone or even a Linux-based device, the problem you're going to have is how do I get my Windows applications out to that device? Because I'm pretty sure most of you, the core applications, the line of business, the revenue-generating applications in your business are Microsoft-based. So we need to be able to have a way of getting those Microsoft applications out to your endpoint, whatever that endpoint may be. So we can do that. We can do Windows apps. We can also give you a virtual desktop because users, when they do their job from 9 to 5, they probably do want to still see a desktop. They still want to have something with all their icons on it, with all their links on it, and with everything they need to do their job. So we still need to provide them with a desktop. We then need to have mobile apps, because there will be apps that they take offline, mobile app device security, for example, MDM, where you own the device, you want to manage the device. We then need to give you the mobile productivity applications, so mail, web apps, and also note-taking applications I'll show you in a second. And equally then, making sure we can give you access to data, give your users access to data from any device, let them take data offline, keep that data on-premise when it's being stored, but then share it out amongst users, whichever device they choose to use it on. Let them access it through an app store and make sure it's all coming through a secure mobile gateway. And that's really the Workspace suite. And if you look at the challenges this really helps you to deal with, outside of being able to do some great advantages around estate consolidation, reduction in costs, it also helps you to go and meet some of the key challenges that we see from our businesses. So, we've mentioned already some of the challenges around bringing your own device, people coming in using a tablet, putting in Dropbox. But equally then we've got the idea of other types of users in your business you may be able to want to go and enable in a mobile way. So designers and engineers, being able to use high-end graphic packages from different locations where typically they can't at the moment because they have high-end workstations that don't move with the user. We want to enable remote and branch workers, enable them to get a bit more power and a bit of service out to them. PC refresh, corporate laptops, mobile access, contractor and partner access, and call centers, move call centers out of the office and manage your real estate. And outside of this, there's some great literature and some great work we've done with customers around real estate consolidation, so reducing the amount of office space by actually letting users choose to work from home if they wish. And you look at cancer research, Tower Hamlets are some of our more recent customers where actually the IT need for the mobile workspace was to actually reduce the amount of office space that the business had and move those users to work from home. Now what they didn't want to do is then give those users corporate laptops. So what they did instead was give them a website they can go and access, and within that website are all their apps, all their data, all their SaaS applications, all their internal web applications that can be available from any device the user chooses to pick up. And we'll go into how we do that very, very shortly. So lots of ways this can mobilize your business. Over and above, allowing BYOD, it is about reducing your real estate, making your users more mobile, securing all your information and keeping everything secure. So what's actually involved in this? What kind of products or features in the Workspace suite? Well, in the first place, XenDesktop 7.5, and this is our desktop virtualization solution that really helps you to centralize, deliver out Windows desktops to any device. And when we say any device, we can actually now deliver to any device, including any device that has an HTML5 compliant browser, because we have an HTML5 client. So that allows us to go and pretty much deliver to pretty much any device with a web browser in the world. We can then deliver your full Windows desktop to that device. And within that, we've got security, because actually all you're seeing when you access that Windows desktop is what is in the cloud. So nothing is actually sat on the desktop. And that is now part of the Workspace suite as well. You can buy XenDesktop separately, but we see it as a core part of enabling your businesses to be mobile, because you will find that a lot of users are very used to using a Windows desktop. And when they're working 9 till 5, for example, when they're working a full day in one location, be that home or a third-party location, whichever device they choose, they'll want a full desktop. So we then can deliver that, and 7.5 has got some really, really good and fantastic features around accelerating the delivery of virtual desktops across 3G networks, more latent networks. For example, for those of you with previous versions of XenApp and XenDesktop, 5.5 on XenDesktop or 6.5 on XenApp, we're using 50% less bandwidth now to deliver those Windows desktops and Windows apps, and we're also increasing the frame rate that we deliver by 2 times. So we're really starting to talk to users and customers like yourselves about, well, 3G, no problem. Right, 4G, great, but actually we can drop down to 3G, and a lot of our demos now are 3G. On any device, and the ability then to deliver that XenDesktop desktop to the device. Now what we also now have is the ability to put our XenDesktop desktop virtualization solution and our XenApp application virtualization on the same architecture. So your management, your infrastructure shrinks as well to deliver your Windows apps and your Windows desktops down to single architecture as well. Sat on any device, at the back end delivering Windows 8 desktops, Windows 7 desktops, Windows Server 2012 based applications for XenApp or desktops for XenApp as well, and Windows Server 2008 desktops. So we have a full unified management architecture to deliver that. So we have XenDesktop to deliver the desktop. What you may not want though is when you pick up your smartphone or when you pick up your tablet, you may not want to see a full desktop. You know, if you think about the size of a screen on an iPhone or a Galaxy, smaller Galaxies or a Sony Xperia or whatever it is, if you want to go in and use a Windows desktop, you probably just, in those scenarios when you're coming in from the small form factor, just want to get in and use an application. And you know, my example is I just want to go in and sign something off in SAP. SAP is a Windows app. Actually, it's a web app we publish out through Internet Explorer. But to get to SAP, I don't want to log into my desktop and then find the application. I just want to go in, use my receiver, which is a client on the device, and get access to everything I need to do my job. So actually what we can also do under Workspace Suite is deliver XenApp Windows applications without the XenDesktop desktop. So big form factor, working all day, I use my full desktop. On the road, on a small form factor, a tablet or a smartphone, I'll probably just want the app and I'll go straight into the app. Again, XenDesktop, XenApp, part of the Workspace Suite. So we can then start to deliver all your Windows applications to any device that the user picks up, with full security, because again there's nothing left on the device. We've got full mobility. We've actually got some really great ways now in 7.5 of mobilizing Windows applications, supporting all the local touch gestures, actually in certain circumstances being able to reskin the Windows app to look more like a mobile application, and again the Bytes guys can give you more information on that as well. And we can give you full Windows applications out to all your mobile devices over any network, and that's really come in and come on leaps and bounds in XenApp 7.5, including the ability to deliver high-end 3D graphics out to end users using the NVIDIA solution sat on the Cisco, Dell, HP or IBM platforms. So any of you kind of looking at how do I mobilize graphical users, but also how do I keep my data in intellectual property, we can do through NVIDIA. So quick question for Warren, if you're listening there, and we'll cover this now to make sure. Is the session being recorded? So I'll wait for Warren. I guess Warren can probably send a chat message out to everyone to let everyone know if it's been recorded. Let us know at the end. You're more than happy to have the slides at the end, by the way. If you just want the slides, there's nothing here that I can't give you if you want. And keep questions coming. If there are any questions as we go through, I'll try and get into them as and when we do. So just for everyone's knowledge, yes, the session's been recorded, so you get a copy of the recording afterwards. So the NVIDIA piece allows us then to move all your users back into the data center, even the highly graphical ones. And this has some great benefits for those of you in any kind of design situation where your IP, your intellectual property is important, but mobilization of the users is important now as well. To give you an example, we're able to go and deliver high-end graphics, and by high-end graphics I mean on-the-fly digital rendering, through XenApp or XenDesktop to an iPad. Right? All centralized graphics sat in a data center delivering out to an iPad over networks. So we can now deliver the most intensive and graphic and resource intensive applications out to any device from any cloud. We demo this, and I tend to demo this solution, this specific graphical solution, from a demo center in Amsterdam or a demo center in Dallas. That's where the two are sat. And more than happy, Bytes can show you that solution as well. And it's a great solution because it's sat in a in a SoftLayer hosted environment. If you've heard of SoftLayer, IBM just recently acquired them. They're a hosting company, and it's coming out to the multi-tenant environment out over the internet to my device. So that's the Windows apps and desktops. So equally more important going forwards, probably for some of you as well, are going to be the mobile applications. So, quick question actually I'll take now. How does Citrix enable Office 365 to be deployed legally on thin clients? I don't know the legal implications. I'm not a licensing expert on Office 365. We could deliver 365 technically to a thin client very easily. And in fact, our mobile applications we'll come on to in a minute for Office 365. Although I'm not a licensing expert on 365, it's probably more a question for Bytes guys. I don't know why there'd be a limitation on thin clients. I guess it's something to do with how many devices you have to use 365 on. Unfortunately, I can't answer that. Technically, we can deliver 365 to anything through either XenApp XenDesktop or XenMobile. We're coming on to you now. However, I'm not a Microsoft employee, so you'd have to probably ask Bytes or Microsoft about the licensing implications of that. So sorry, Andy, I can't answer that. Technically, we can do it, so there's not a problem with doing that. And in fact, some of our products specifically support 365. Legally, not my bag, unfortunately, on that one. So moving across, so we've got the Windows apps and desktops out to any device through the Workspace suite. What about the mobile applications from that perspective? Good question actually, I'll take right now. Currently, Nick has XenApp 6.5. When moving to XenApp 7.5, can you use the same license server or do we need a new license server build? We'd recommend you upgrade the license server, Nick, but actually you can actually use the same licenses. So that's quite useful. We always recommend going to a licensed version of the license server anyway. The reason we bring out new versions is bug fixes and updates and increases. Your farm will run for 30 days without a license server as long as you don't need to make changes to it, and the license server is just an IS service, so it's not a big part. The good news though is your existing XenApp 6.5 licenses will work in a XenApp 7.5 farm. So your license files you don't need to upgrade. We do what we call bring your own license nowadays. So we recommend you upgrade the software, but that shouldn't take you too long. It's a very simple piece of software and a license server that you've probably seen. The good news though is you don't have to download the licenses again. The licenses can stay exactly the same. We enable something called bring your own license nowadays as well. So moving on, mobile applications, we have XenMobile, which is again part of the Workspace suite. And this is our comprehensive enterprise mobility solution, which will deliver mobile applications, deliver data to mobile devices, and equally manage mobile devices as well. Now, so Gartner Magic Quadrant came out yesterday, if you saw it, for mobility, and we're up in the top right, and only 2 or 3 others are up in the top right in terms of strategy, vision, ability to execute. So, we've got a great market-leading mobility solution. And from our perspective, what we'll want to be able to do is help you move and integrate this whole mobile workflow into your businesses. So make it easier and integrated to deliver mobility out to your endpoints. Now MDM we can manage mobile devices, we can manage iOS, we can manage Android devices, we can do lots of great things about MDM. And actually I don't know if you saw the announcement from BlackBerry a couple of weeks ago, but BlackBerry are now allowing us to manage BlackBerry 10 devices through our MDM solution. And more information on our MDM solution, again, talk to the guys on Bytes. It's a short webinar today. I just want to go through things quickly. So is it correct you do not zones in XenApp 7.5 and you have to create a separate file? Quick question from Nick from more locations so you can manage from one console. Yeah, we do hybrid clouds, so you can actually have different, in essence, sites now, but those sites can be managed through a single console as if they're one environment. If you want to know more about it, we can actually do it across different clouds as well, and we call it hybrid cloud provisioning, Nick. And again, if you want more information on that, the guys will be happy to take you through it from Nick or from Bytes, and they'll be able to give you more information on that. But it's a much simpler way. We've moved from something called IMA, which is why we had to have zones, because the zones come from the old days of XenApp and presentation server when it couldn't really understand subnets. So zones were kind of about you'd have a zone data collector, and the ZDC would talk to the other zone data collector and the other subnet. We don't really need zones anymore because FMA, which is architecture we've gone to, understands subnets and networking, which means you can actually have servers sat across the world in different clouds, and we can then provision and manage across clouds. We call it hybrid cloud provisioning now in 7.5. So it's actually got a lot better. Again, more information on that. If you want to talk to the guys from Bytes, they can get one of us to come and talk to you in more detail around how that now works and what the architecture looks like. But the architecture on XenApp 7.5, just finish off this answer, according to 6.5, is much simpler. You go into 2 consoles, Studio and Director, that's it. All right, so you've got some great tools there and some great benefits there. Plus FMA, it allows us to get about 8% more scalability on a XenApp server in 7.5 than we did in 6.5 using IMA. So you've got great benefits there. Right, so going back to Xen Mobile. So, we talked about MDM. Equally, we do mobile application management with Xen Mobile. And this is, I want to give you kind of a view on what's actually coming in a couple of weeks, which is our Xen Mobile 9 product. We're currently on 8.6, but we have our 9 products. And within Xen Mobile 9, we'll deliver mobile applications to unmanaged devices and put them in a secure sandbox on that device. So we can let people bring in their own tablet or their own smartphone, and we'll deliver corporate applications to those devices that do so without any kind of risk of security, and we do so with policies and encryption. And some of those apps have been around for a while. So WorksMail, which is our secure mail application, apologies. Version 9 is coming out, fully featured. It's almost like an Outlook. It lets you out of offices. It's got some great stuff around reading unread mails and separating them out, conversations. Got built-in calendars, it's not a separate application. But we can set policies around where email and attachments go on that device, even if we don't manage the device. We have WorksWeb, which is our own web browser. Now, why would we have to put a web browser onto a mobile device that already has a web browser? Well, firstly, because we can then use it to access our SaaS applications. But secondly, we can use it to access internal web apps without having to use a VPN. We have something called a micro VPN that allows the WorksWeb application to talk back to our internal web applications from any device that has the WorksWeb delivered to it without having to log in to the whole device for a VPN. ShareFile, we'll come back to ShareFile in a second. You get this with the Workspace suite as well. And then we have 3 more coming very soon. So WorksNotes, which is basically our notes-taking application, so very similar to Evernote, but all the data goes up into ShareFile, which you know where your ShareFile data is, unlike Evernote, which goes up into the cloud somewhere. XenDesktop, which gives you secure mobile access to a user's existing physical PC, so you can just quickly get into your physical PCs if you still have them. Apologies for that, the test file up. There you go, sorry about that. XenDesktop, which allows us to get into our physical PCs, and XenEdit, which is basically an Office emulator, allowing us to take data securely offline on that mobile device and edit it, save it locally in an encrypted area on the device, and push it back up to our ShareFile cloud storage, so we can take Office documents offline, for example, into our tablet device, iPad at the moment, but Android support coming shortly, edit them offline securely, and then save them locally. Then as soon as that device is back online, it'll get pushed back up to the cloud and remove it from the local device. So this is a kind of area. Equally, we can also push any mobile application available for that device out to the device. So you can actually have a whole area on that device with Works applications. We have the Works enabled apps ecosystem. You can see an example of where some are there. A business. We just announced some more as well, some more Adobe and some more other business applications from Xerox and such like as well. The other piece of this is ShareFile, and this goes back to that Dropbox problem I talked about at the beginning, which is users want to take data with them, want to take data onto the mobile device. Will kind of, if you don't provide them with a way of doing it, they'll go and find a way of doing it, and that'll be usually Dropbox or something like that. So ShareFile allows you to put your data, store your data in the cloud, either on-premise or in any public cloud data storage solution that you choose, and then allows us to push the data out to mobile devices or any Windows devices that control and audit where that data goes. Now what we'll also do is not only front-end your data stores, we'll front-end SharePoint, we'll front-end network drives out to those devices, and as of this month, you'll be able to front-end things like Documented or Exchange folders or FileNet or things like Alfresco. So we'll be able to pull in and show information from those solutions through ShareFile, not just your cloud data storage. And then we'll help you migrate as well. So, we'll if the users using Dropbox corporate data, will allow you to import data from Dropbox into ShareFile so that that user is already available to go in ShareFile as soon as they start working. So just bear with a second to read a question from Mohammed. SCCM, so Mohammed, no, really, there's some great documents on how we integrate on SCCM. I'd advise, again, just search our knowledge base, Citrix knowledge base, and there's some great documents on how to do it, integrate it, or again, talk to the guys at Bytes and they can send you some specific information on that. I won't get into it now, just it's quite a lot to talk about, so schedule some time with the Bytes guys, Mohammed, and I'll be able to take you through SCCM integration. What else does that 7.5 support? Well, it is, you answered your own question, Nick, it is Windows Server 2008 R2 or Windows Server 2012. They're the two OSs that we're running on. You can also run it back on 2008 if you really want. You can put it in basically a 6.5 environment, but the two we really recommend are 2008 R2 and Windows Server 2012. Cool, so ShareFile then allows us to do all the things we want to do, access documents offline, edit them offline as well. And this is, everything that I've just talked about is included under one license called the Workspace Suite. And the Workspace Suite is now probably the most cost-effective way. You'll either buy new, all those products, or upgrade to those products. And this is what we want to build, this Workspace. Delivered through the receiver, which is single client on the device, gives you access to everything I just talked about, your Windows apps, your data, your mobile applications, and list is $450. And again, if you want some more information, talk to the guys from Bytes. If you're on an existing product of Citrix, so XenApp, XenDesktop, XenMobile, or ShareFile Enterprise, there's also a trade-up option for you as well. We're actually going and using your investment in XenApp, XenDesktop, XenMobile, or ShareFile Enterprise, get you up to 70% off those licenses of Workspace Suite and get you all the features that we just talked about in Workspace Suite as well. Equally, and this is just where I'm finishing just in time actually, there is help, if any of you also are on VMware or Horizon and you want to go to Workspace Suite and want to go to a product that's got all the features in it right now and working right now, then we're also doing a trade-up for you to give you 50% off the Workspace Suite if you trade up your VMware View or Horizon licenses up to the Workspace Suite. Great offer, great ability. So hopefully that's given you a quick overview. We've only had 45 minutes to go through today. What we're talking about is mobile workspaces, building them out. We are the leader in mobile workspaces. We're able to deliver it to one single device, through one single client, the receiver, to any device in the world at any point. More information is available from the guys at Bytes, and they can also bring us on to come and talk to you in a bit more detail about all those features and products. Obviously, very high level today in 45 minutes we've had available to us today. But from that perspective, what we'll do is I'll ask you to ask any questions. I know you've been asking some great questions that we've gone through. I want to encourage that for the last kind of 5 minutes we've got now. Equally, Warren, if you've got anything to add, if you want to interject now, that'd be great, and we'll just ask for any questions that anyone's got. There's one question already, so I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Do you want me to answer that one?
Yeah, please, yeah, if you can, Alex, that'd be great.
So, question again, Nick, does XenApp 7.5 support EdgeSight? It has EdgeSight in it. It's different to 6.5. It's way better. It's under something called the Director. There's more information in it, much better dashboard into it, if you like, view into it. You'll be amazed about how different it is. So the feature's still there in terms of the monitoring. It's gone ballistic in terms of what it can do, and it's a much better product in 7.5. And again, don't believe me, get the guys from Bytes to come and show you, Nick. So simple answer, yes, but a completely different product in terms of its scalability and its usability and the actual stats you can get out of it. And that's the only question at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, just to let everybody know, what we will do is we'll just check that all your questions have been answered, but we'll ask our account manager here, or your account manager, to give you a quick call and just see if you have any more questions, or if there's anything that our guys don't know. We always go back to Citrix and someone like Alex and get even further clarification. So yeah, as long as you get your questions in, you'll get a full answer.
Okay, don't seem to be anything else at the moment. Nothing's come through yet, so...
Okay, well, I mean, as it says on the screen here, you know, if you think of anything later, it's a simple email address to remember. Just tell me more at bytes.co.uk. Here we go. We've just had another question.
Right. I want to see how Xenmo actually works with mobile devices like iOS and Android. I don't have any videos actually. I tend to just do a demo on my devices. We actually use it day in, day out on iOS and Android, so that's what I usually demo on. There's some videos up on our website, and the guys from Bytes can send you some links to Citrix TV. And I'll just they'll be a little bit jumpy on the GoToWebinar solution here, but I'm sure the guys from Bytes can get you some videos or come and show you in real life. I mean, we use it day in, day out, so I've got it all on my iOS, and I've also got an Android tablet. But unfortunately, I've not got it set up to show you on this today.
Yeah, absolutely. We can definitely come back with that. You know, after this webinar, we'll pull all the questions out of the system. We'll pull the recording together, and we'll pass those questions on again to the relevant account manager, and they'll come back to you. And we'll come back to you with a thank you for attending. And here's a recording. So yeah, you'll definitely be hearing from us later today. So, does anyone else have any questions before we close the session? Okay, well, you know, like I said, tell me more at bytes.co.uk. Simply send some questions there. We can ask Alex, you know, straight away to reply, or we can go via our account manager. But you know, thank you very much for attending this morning. You know, hope you found it very useful. Do we have another question coming there? Nick, thank you. Thanks very much. So yeah, we'll get that recording off to you. But have a great day, and thanks very much, Alex. You know, really good presentation there. Cheers. Thanks everybody. Cheers. Bye bye.